Welcome to this explainer. I want you to picture this for a second. You've been planning a dream vacation for months. Your bags are perfectly packed, you've battled the airport traffic, and you are finally standing in line at the TSA checkpoint. You hand over your driver's license, totally expecting the usual nod and wave through, but instead, the agent just shakes their head. Your license is outdated. You can't pass. And just like that, literally in the blink of an eye, you're grounded. It is a highly relatable, incredibly stressful scenario, and sadly, it's one that thousands of Alabama residents might actually face if they aren't prepared for the upcoming federal changes.
It's a harsh question, I know, but we really need to ask it. Will you be denied boarding on your next domestic flight? Well, without the right credential in your wallet, the answer could very well be yes. Today, we're taking all the source material from the Alabama Law Enforcement Agency, also known as ALEA, along with various local Alabama news reports to guide you step by step through the process of getting your real ID in Alabama. We're going to take this whole bureaucratic maze and transform it into a clear, actionable roadmap for you. So here is the absolute most crucial point. May 7, 2025. You'll want to circle this on your calendar. This is the strict federal deadline when standard state-issued licenses will no longer work for domestic air travel or for entering certain secure federal facilities. After this specific date, TSA agents are going to be looking for a very particular type of identification. Okay, let's dive into this step-by-step quest. Here's our agenda for the explainer. First, understanding the STAR ID. Second, gathering required documents. Third, the application process. Fourth, fees, renewals, and changes. And finally, important disclaimers and updates. All right, let's jump right into Section 1, Understanding the STAR ID.
So, what exactly is this credential the federal government is demanding? Well, in Alabama, the real ID is known as the STAR ID. That stands for Secure, Trusted, and Reliable Identification. Now, this program didn't just appear out of thin air. It was actually born out of the Real ID Act, passed by Congress way back in 2005. Following the recommendations of the 9/11 Commission, the federal government set up minimum national security standards for state-issued driver's licenses and ID cards. The STAR ID is simply Alabama's administrative response to meet those strict federal security mandates. Actually, you can check your current license right now to see if you're already compliant. Seriously, go ahead and pull out your wallet. If you have an Alabama STAR ID, you're going to see a gold star right there in the upper left-hand corner of the card. On the flip side, if you have a standard license issued after April 2022, it will clearly say the words, "Not for federal identification" across the top. If you don't see that gold star, you are definitely going to need to upgrade before that May 2025 deadline if you plan to fly anywhere.
But who actually needs to get one of these? The STAR ID is available to Alabama residents who are 15 and older. However, it's specifically required for domestic flyers who are 18 and older, as well as anyone who needs to access certain federal facilities or military bases. Now, I do want to reassure you on one point. A standard Alabama license is still perfectly legal and 100% valid for driving, voting, and everyday identification. If you absolutely never plan to step foot on an airplane or enter a military base, you don't technically have to get one. Moving right along to Section 2, Gathering Required Documents.
For those of us who do love to travel, this is hands down the most intensive part of our quest, and honestly, it's where most people make mistakes. You can't just stroll into the office empty-handed. You need to group these strict requirements into 4 easy-to-remember buckets: identity and date of birth, your social security number, 2 proofs of residency, and, if it applies to you, legal name modification documents. And here is the absolute golden rule you have to remember. Only physical originals or certified copies issued by the designating agency will be accepted. No photocopies, no faxes, no exceptions.
Let's look at that primary identity bucket. You need to bring one document from this specific list. For most U.S. citizens, bringing a certified U.S. birth certificate issued by a state Bureau of Vital Statistics or just a valid, unexpired U.S. passport is by far the easiest route. Foreign nationals, though, have their own specific requirements, like bringing an unexpired foreign passport with a valid U.S. visa and an approved I-94 form, which the state then verifies through a federal database. Next up, grab your Social Security card, or maybe your recent W-2 tax form. Honestly, your standard Social Security card is best here. Then you're going to need 2 documents proving that you actually live in Alabama. A valid Alabama license works great for one. A utility bill, like your water or electric bill, is a fantastic second option. But wait, here is a super crucial detail. That utility bill must be less than 90 days old, so definitely double-check the exact dates on your paperwork before you even leave the house.
Okay, massive pitfall alert. This trips up so many applicants. If your current legal name does not match the name printed on your birth certificate, say, for example, you got married and changed your last name, you must bring a certified marriage certificate, divorce decree, or court order to legally link your birth name to your current name. You need the entire legal paper trail. If you show up with a birth certificate that says Smith and you're trying to get an ID that says Jones, without that marriage certificate, they will send you home empty-handed.
Which brings us to Section 3, the application process. So you've got your folder of pristine, original documents. Now what? Well, the state has actually laid out a specific sequence to make this as painless as possible. Step 1. Use the interactive pre-screening portal on ALEA's website to self-assess your documents. Step 2. Schedule an appointment online. While they do accept limited walk-ins, officials are strongly encouraging everyone to book an appointment because the lines in major cities like Birmingham, Huntsville, and Mobile are getting incredibly long as that deadline approaches. And finally, Step 3. Visit the office in person.
Now pay attention to this because it's a very common mistake you'll want to avoid regarding locations. Your initial STAR ID application absolutely must be processed at a state ALA examining office. You literally cannot go to your standard county courthouse or local license commissioner for your very first STAR ID. The state troopers and ALA examiners are the only people authorized to verify these federal documents for the first time.
All right, Section 4, fees, renewals, and changes. Once you're actually sitting in front of the ALEA examiner, you might be wondering, what's the financial investment here? You'd probably expect a federally mandated security ID to cost a small fortune, but the fee is exactly $36.25. That is literally the exact same price as a standard Alabama driver's license renewal or a non-driver ID card. No surprise upcharges just for getting that gold star. And the good news is, once you are officially in the system and have your STAR ID, maintaining it becomes so much easier. Simple renewals or getting a duplicate if you happen to lose your wallet can be handled right at your local county license office. Address changes can generally be done locally too. However, and this is important, if you have a major life event and undergo a future name change, you're going to have to return to a state ALE examiner's post to have those new legal documents federally verified all over again.
And finally, Section 5, important disclaimers and updates.
Before we wrap up this explainer, let's go over a few quick things to keep in mind. As with anything involving government protocols, things can and do shift. While we've curated the most current, step-by-step guide based on the latest source material, office hours get modified and temporary closures happen all the time. It is always a best practice to check the official Alabama Law Enforcement Agency website at alea.gov right before you take time off work to make your visit.
Which leaves us with one final critical thought. The clock is absolutely ticking toward that strict federal enforcement date. Will your documents be ready before the TSA stops you on May 7, 2025? Don't be the person frantically searching through boxes for a certified birth certificate a week before your summer vacation. Check your wallet today, gather your paperwork, and secure your travel future now. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and safe travels out there.